Hello everybody and welcome to my channel and to my latest journal, which I have named Journal for a Lady. Creating this one, I had in mind to come up with a journal which is feminine. Well, I think I can check on that. Yes. Lazy. Yes. Playful. Okay. And gives a lot of writing space. Well, the latter one you judge for yourself. The cover I created from different design papers, which I have cut into fancy shape, gold waxed around. Then further decorated the cover with lace and a vintage doily, and this is a crochet doily, and when you look at it, you see it was really made with very, very fine thread, and it's an art. And I have further decorated it also with several layers of lace, vintage lace and also newer lace. I have added a ruffle, which you are going to see in the journal as well. And then I made a collage from different material, from paper, from die cut. I've added a butterfly, some doilies and some background, and I glued it on. And on the back side, what you see here is that I have added a pocket with different materials. So this is a nice trim, and then I added some lace on top of it. And in this pocket I have put in one of my collaged tags, which I did, and where you are going to see some more in this journal. This one has been sprayed with different colors and also sewn around, and then I've also added some fabric applique on it. So I still have glue on my fingers, so therefore I have some fabric on it. So it sits here. Well, the dimensions. She measures 21 centimeters, 14 centimeters, and only has a 2.5 centimeter spine. In inches, this means 8 1/4 times 5 1/2 and 1 inch spine. But don't get mistaken. Despite the fact that the spine is not that wide, there are still more than 120 pages in it, back and front, and you already see it now. She tends to have the same tendency as all my other journals. She has an alligator mouth. So let's open the lady up. She's been closed with some, I think I bought it as sari silk. It's relatively fine, and I love the color because I went into purple in this journal. Not exclusively, but a lot of purple. So let's open her up. And the first view into this journal is, you see the color scheme. It's of course purple, it's also green, white, and I have also used again laces, ruffles, all these kind of things. And this is another one of my collaged tags. And here I've added this picture of a well-known, I've forgotten the name, well-known artist from, I think, the end of the 19th century or so. And I have also made a ruffle here, and I put her, I framed her with a die-cut frame, which I created from different material, and also made some acrylic paint on it. And this is wallpaper, this one. I love the green and the yellow and the gold one. So that's the back side. Here, this book belongs to. I have covered and decorated the inside of the spine with some violet or purple lace. Here you see the first of the two signatures, so there are only two signatures in it. And this one is AI created. And I have decorated it with this pretty ruffle. I love it. I have it in different colors, and I was so happy to be able to use the violet one here. And then I added this pretty lace and sewn around in this fancy stitching. Old music paper, did some stamping here. So this is already, when you look at it from here, you see it has this feminine romantic look. And this is also because I have used a lot of lace, and I have also layered the pages in a way so that they tend to look like a waterfall approach, but it was not meant to be, it happened. So this is slightly stenciled. This is some pretty paper here. I did some coffee dyeing and also stenciling and also color dyeing, and here I've added some lace. This is pretty vellum in this rose design in gold and champagne. Here I've added a tag in the way which I currently discovered to use or to apply, and this is this slide in approach. So it sits on this thing here, which is also wallpaper, and I have turned it into a slided one, so you can take it off easily. And this one here I have worked with a stencil, and I've added some modeling paste on coffee dyed paper, and I've also added, as you can see, further colors in order to give it more vibe. And I have just attached it with a paper clip so that it can easily be taken off, because the surface is a little bit rough, but I thought as there is this vellum on top of it, it's relatively well protected. And here you see this pretty daisy-like violet colored lace. On the back side, when you flip this up, you see this is one of my, what I currently love to do, one of my coloring exercises. Coffee dyed paper plus color. This gives pretty effects, and from the back side you see, look, it looks like that. Coffee stenciled paper, and here I've added a little bit of this lace, which I have been using already on the first page. And this is a tuck spot, and in this tuck spot there is a longer journaling card. Also this one has been coffee dyed stenciled, and it shows a little pretty bird. Coffee dyed doily, some pretty paper over here. This is just a short strip of paper which I have further decorated with this rose in violet, a little ruffle, and some not chiffon, satin strip. Also the backside looks nice. And here I've used this transparent fabric. I'm running out of it, I'm afraid, which I love to use whenever I have a surface which is really, really pretty and which I do not want to cover up. So when you take this off, you see this pretty meadow type design, and inside there is a page or part of a page from the Victorian flower album, which has so nice drawings, and also the paper is very nice, so I also distressed around it, and two tiny tags which are sitting here. When you turn it, then here I did some stamping on old book paper, and I have glued it on here. This is again a little bit of coffee dyed paper, some Indian fabric which I recently received, and when you flip it up, then there is another very nice design paper or digital paper with this rose motif, and I cut it in this shape in order to take to adapt to the shape of the stamps which I have applied over here. So as I said, there is room for writing, and if the person who is going to get this journal, because it is available in my Etsy shop, wants, of course, she can take off all or most of the decoration, the tags and the other things which are in there, so that it's easier to write on. So this is another one of my collage tags, so there are quite a few in there, and here I have used this coffee dyed turquoise paper I've sewn around, and I have added some old Italian stamps which I took because of the color scheme, as you might have guessed, and here I have used some old music paper. This is also some colored paper. This is from a coloring book which you can use. There I did some light stamping. This is another tuck spot, and inside there is a journaling card, and many of the journaling cards and tags I have backed with old book paper, I think you can still write on it if you don't, if you use some black ink or something like this. So it sits here, and I've added a silk bow. This is Japanese paper. It's so pretty. I love this gold and pink and rose colors. And then, of course, I had to break the color scheme, and I used some yellow paper, and I did some stamping, added some nice fine lace over here. And we are at the center spot of the first signature. And you see this is purple paper, and I've added this purple or violet lace. And when you open it, then you open to a kind of a gate. And I have added tickets in there, which I have chosen because of the colors, because I think this purple perfectly matches, of course, this purple theme, as well as this purple page. So, and here again. So this is again this paper, this Japanese paper. And here you see some other lace which I've added. And on this page I have decorated it with some design paper, and the design paper I have formed a pocket, and then I added some more lace. And inside there is one of my decoupaged and glittered and stenciled and whatsoever, or not stenciled, embossed tags. I have forgotten to mention that, of course, I have used on the cover, you might remember, I have used design paper, and of course I have varnished it. I've put on some varnish in matte so that it's secure and does not tear. So this is just something I wanted to mention. Some blank paper. This is the coloring paper. This is my color exercise. And here we come to another pocket, and in this pocket I've used some pretty design paper here as well, and some digital paper which I've cut in this fancy shape. And inside there are 2 journaling cards. My pretty butterflies, which I love so much, needed to go in. And a little bird. Here there is another tuck spot, and also from pretty design paper. I think this is Stamperia. And here again one of my self-created tags, and this is embossed. Then I added some acrylic paint, and then I added also this little tag which I have further decorated with some scraps. Here this is just decoration, and in this decoration I have attached, call it origami, but it's just folded, envelope. And there is nothing in there, so you can still use it well for writing. It's also not glued, as you can see. So, oops. And this is the doily. This is the stenciling. This is this pretty page which I colored. And here there's a longer journaling card behind this tag, which I have glued on, and here you can see this is the wallpaper, which is really pretty, I think. And I intended to use more of it, but actually I did not. And this is the vellum. Here I did some stamping of a wonderful, very romantic picture. And as I said, this journal is romantic, so it has many pretty things, feminine, playful things, girly things, if you want to say. Therefore it's a journal for a lady. And here I did some more stamping on this old book paper, music paper. So now we come to the second signature, and the second signature also starts with some fraying, also starts with some wallpaper. So this here is wallpaper. I took it because I loved, of course, the purple, which goes so well with this theme. And then I made a collage, so a lot of collaging in this journal. I made a collage of this pretty lady. You have seen her already on the first tag, which I showed you on the second tag. I added a feather. I did some stamping on old book pages, and then I did some gold waxing. And the whole thing is like a kind of a belt around the second signature, and it's being closed with a bow from self-dyed silk. So it comes in this really pretty purple colors, and therefore I picked it. So the inside is decorated also with some pretty paper in very impressive purple and wonderful green, and inside there I put in a journaling card in this, again, as I mentioned, transparent pocket. Pretty design paper forms the decoration of the second signature. Here I have added this really pretty lace in this light green with bows, and I also have sewn on, so most of the laces and trims are sewn on, and then I've also sewn on this purple trim. And on the back side, you see there is another tuck spot or side pocket, and in this side pocket there is another journaling card. And have a look, this also looks really, really girly because of all the ruffles of this kind of a, as I say, waterfall shape. And yeah, I loved it. So, and yeah, this silk, this hand-dyed silk is very, very much fraying. So I hope you don't mind. So I added this ruffle here. And then you see what peeks out is a journaling card, a longer journaling card, where I've added a satin ruffle. And it sits in this little pocket here, like this flower thing. Probably it should look like this, but I put it like that. Again, some lace on coffee dyed paper. So there is room for writing, as I mentioned. This is heavily colored paper with my beloved approach, where I've made a video if you are interested in. It's very easy, and it has, as I think, very nice effects. And then one of my really, really favorite journaling cards, which is some Victorian motifs, and you will find some more in this journal, which sits in this pretty pocket. And what you see is here the color scheme is so nice. The green, the blue, a little bit of purple, and the green over here. This is old dictionary paper, Latin German. This is some nice paper. This is also from an old book. It has some poems, and I've secured it with some washi tape because it's very brittle, especially on the edges here. And it comes from an old book which is dated 1890. Almost all of my old books are from around this time, and I've added it in because it looked so nice. And here this is just a flip up, and behind the flip up you see some of my stenciling approaches with coffee, the lace, the fine lace, another dyeing exercise, some light lace. I put in also something from Edith Holden because I think it's so pretty and I love the shape, so I just have torn it. And as we are currently in spring, I think it's really nice to have a kind of a bird because the birds are currently very, very loud and happy. This is eco-dyed paper. What you see here on this also stenciled paper is a little envelope, which I have further decorated with some purple flower. And inside this little envelope, which is also not glued, I've added just a little tiny, tiny tag, which I put back like this and attach it back like that with this pretty pin. This is just some pretty purple, pink paper, which I liked. And on the back side, because I didn't want it to be just white, I made some stenciling. And here this is some chiffon with some glittery polka dots or dots. This is a blank page, which I just have decorated with hand-dyed silk. And when you turn it, I couldn't help it. I had to use a flip up and I made this flip up also a pocket, and in this pocket there is one of my self-created tags, and I see I have forgotten to put a bow on that, and I will do, because it needs to have a bow, although it peeks out. And again, the butterfly, my beloved butterfly. I love it. I think it's so pretty. It's so nostalgic. It's so Victorian. It's, yeah, I think it nicely matches. And here you see I've also made a fancy pocket. And I've used the same paper for attaching this flip up. Again, vellum paper, some special paper or some digital paper here, stenciled on the back side. 2 pockets on this page, and inside these pockets there are 2 of these pretty Victorian motifs, angel cards. Very nice. Some light trim over here. On the back side I have used some design paper. I have added a self-collaged fabric pocket, and I have also added some washi tape in order to further decorate, because I didn't want to see the stitching through on this page. And here there are 2 journaling cards. This one is backed with old music paper. Both are sewn around. This one is also gold waxed, and this one is another pretty motif. Japanese paper, love it. I love the green, I love this gold, I love the opulence, really, really pretty. Again, some yellow paper, but this time it has been coffee dyed, and I've added this pretty trim with some, let's call them daisy motifs. And now we come to my preferred, most favorite animal, and you know it's the peacock. And this is such a pretty paper, I think, so it deserved to be center spot on the second signature. Coffee dyed, as you can see. Here I have made a little pocket, and in this pocket there is another of these pretty Victorian angel cards, and I've also gold waxed it in order to give it this old look. Some stamping. So this is also from the Victorian flower album, a little piece. Put it in here in this side belly band. This is some pretty paper with some nice edge. And again, some pretty paper, which I turned into just a flip, and I left it white this time. And I've also added some washi tape in order to further secure it and decorate it. This is again this chiffon. This is some of the stenciling here. I did some more stamping on my color dyed paper, coffee and color dyed paper, and this is eco dyed paper. And I've made this flippy out, and this flippy out there is another angel card. You see here, there are the wings. And I've added a ruffle, a satin ruffle, so that you can easily take it out or use it wherever you want. Again, paper, which I have obviously color dyed, and I've added 2 layers of lace. This is the old book paper, the poems. This is the dictionary paper. This is some stamping on this heavily dyed paper. Coffee dyed paper, green paper, end of the second spine. Not quite, this is the end of the second spine, second signature. And here we have a belly band, and in this belly band a huge journaling card with a lot of room for writing. So, this is the journal for a lady. I hope you liked it. If you do, leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you want to have more of these kind of romantic journals. As you might know, I'm switching from different designs, different themes. I think I like to do everything if it's colorful. The only thing I have some issues with, or I'm not so, I I really cannot get into is grunge. I tried some grungy ones, but it's not really my cup of tea. So, thanks for watching. I wish you a very nice day and see you soon. Martina, bye bye.